Hi, I'm Sang-Jun Kim, a software engineer at General Motors. I've been with the company for 17 years and I'm in charge of ADAS simulation. I live in Incheon, which I love for its great mix of a city life and easy access to nature. In my free time, I enjoy reading and listening to music, which helps me to relieve stress. I'm grateful for where I am in life and I try to stay positive and keep pushing myself to grow. Thanks for taking the time to get to know me. Hi, my name is Sang-Jun Kim, and I've been a software engineer at General Motors for 17 years. Currently, I focus on ADAS simulation, integrating systems for active safety technologies. Over the years, I've developed a strong background in vehicle architecture and software development, and working with teams to deliver reliable simulation systems. I live with my family in a coastal city, Incheon, which I really enjoy for its vibrant city life and easy access to nature. Plus, being close to Seoul is a big perk. Outside of work, I love reading, listening to music, and hiking, especially in winter season. Overall, I'm really grateful for both my career and personal life, and I try to stay positive, tackle challenges head on, and keep pushing myself to grow. Thanks for taking the time to get to know me. Question 1. You indicated that you work. Tell me about your workplace. Where is it located? What does it look like? Do you like your workplace? Describe it in as much detail as possible. Okay. The office building I work in is 5 stories tall and looks quite old, but it was recently renovated with new furniture and fancy LED lights on the walls and ceilings. So I would say it looks sharp and modern now. My office is located on the fourth floor. On the first floor, there's a large reception area with a reception desk, which you'll see as soon as you enter the building. There's also a small cafe where you can grab some coffee and snacks. On the fourth floor, you'll find the main office area, where many different shaped open desks are arranged to divide the floor into smaller sections. I spend most of my time working at my desk there. There is also a big meeting room with 2 large TVs, comfy chairs, and a big round wooden table. It's actually one of my favorite places because I can relax during breaks and sometimes even have parties there. It's a great place to work. Question number 2. What time is your lunch break during the workday and how long is it for? Where do you usually eat lunch? What do you like to eat? Okay, my lunch break starts at 12 o'clock and I usually have about an hour. I always eat lunch with my coworkers and we go to the different places depending on the situation. And there are 3 cafeteria buildings in the company, which we refer to as the first, second, and the third. Most of the time, I go to the third cafeteria near my office, which takes me about 10 minutes on foot. It's a large 2-story cafeteria, and employees get a free lunch if they work at the company. Sometimes I go to a restaurant near my office, which takes about 15 minutes on foot. They serve a variety of dishes, including Korean, Chinese, and Japanese. After a quick lunch, I like to rest for a short nap, which helps me feel refreshed and gives me the energy to concentrate on my work in the afternoon. Question number 3. People sometimes face difficulties and problems while at work. Have you ever experienced difficulties at work? What were you doing and what difficulty did you face? How did you deal with the problem? Give me as many details as possible. Okay. I remember working on a global vehicle architecture project with my team. Our goal was to integrate a challenging design with new product that had just launched. So, we built a mock-up of the actual vehicle and collected feedback from a diverse group of customers based on their real-life experience with the product. By analyzing their input, we are able to find the right balance between design and spaciousness, making sure both were optimized. In the end, this helped us successfully launch the product with a design that really met customer expectations. Question number 4. You indicated you work in the survey. Describe your company. What kind of business is it? Where is it located? What kind of product or service does your company offer? Tell me about the product or service that your company specializes in with a lot of details. Okay, I work for General Motors, an automotive OEM, headquartered in Detroit, Michigan. It's one of the largest companies in the industry, and I've been with GM for 17 years. The company designs, manufactures, and sells vehicles under brands like Chevrolet, Cadillac, GMC, and Buick, with a strong focus on innovation, safety, and sustainability. As a software engineer at a technical center, I specialize in developing ADAS simulation technologies to improve vehicle safety and performance. GM is a large global company with thousands of employees, and our headquarters is in a modern building with a cutting-edge technology. Most of my time is spent in a collaborative environment working on software solutions that drive the future of automotive technologies. Question number 5. Tell me about your typical day at work. What things do you normally do daily at work? As soon as I arrive at work in the morning, I start by making a to-do list for the day, which helps me organize my tasks. I then check my emails to stay updated on any urgent matters. Since I work as a software engineer, I spend most of my day focusing on the debugging and testing software for ADAS simulation. I sometimes have team meetings or discussions with my colleagues to review progress or address technical challenges. During lunch, I usually eat at the cafeteria with my coworkers, which gives me a nice break. In the afternoon, I continue with my tasks, and depending on the project, I may need to stay late to finish things up. I try to avoid overtime, but when there's a tight deadline, I often end up working a bit longer. That's a typical day for me at work. Question number 1. I'd like to know where you live. Describe your house in detail. What does it look like? How many rooms do you have? Which is your favorite room at home? Okay, I live in a 28-story apartment building in the western part of Incheon. The building is 13 years old, and while the exterior might look a bit aged, but the inside is well maintained. My apartment has 3 rooms and 2 bathrooms, with one of the bathrooms are located in the master bedroom. The living room is bright and cozy, with walls lined with bookshelves filled with books. There's a large window that lets in plenty of sunlight, which makes the space feel warm and inviting. Among all the rooms in the apartment, my favorite is definitely my own workspace. It's the place where I can truly unwind and relax. Whenever I'm in my room, I always feel incredibly comfortable and at ease. I spend most of my free time there, whether I'm writing, studying, or working on music mixing. I also love listening to music while I rest, which helps me recharge. The atmosphere in my room helps me stay focused and inspired. making it the perfect space for both creativity and relaxation. It's truly my personal sanctuary in the apartment. Question number two. Tell me about the house or apartment you lived in when you were a child. How was it different from the one you live in now? What are the differences and the similarities? When I was a child, I lived in a small apartment with three rooms. But I didn't have my own room because I lived with my grandmother. It was a cozy place, but there was much space for personal privacy. Now, I live in a larger apartment with three rooms and two bathrooms, and I have my own room. It's a big difference because I can relax and walk in my room, and I always feel comfortable there. When I was young, there wasn't a park nearby, but now there's a park close to my place, which takes me about 10 minutes on foot. It has a huge running track, and I usually run there for an hour. Honestly, running is not my favorite thing, but it's a good way to stay fit. Overall, the life I have now is much more convenient and comfortable compared to the apartment I lived in as a child. Question number three. Tell me about a change you made to your home. What was the change and why did you make the change? How did your home look like afterwards? Give me all the details. How has your house changed since you first moved in? Tell me about how it changed with a lot of details. My home hasn't changed very much since I first moved in, but I've made a few changes to my home to make it more cozy and functional. One of the biggest changes I made was in the living room. I decided to get rid of the TV and the sofa and instead fill the space with bookshelves. This made the room feel much cozier and more spacious, and it created a great environment for reading. I really enjoy spending time there now. I also changed the wall colors in my bedrooms. In one room, I painted the walls a light green, and in the other, I went with a sky blue. The new colors made the rooms feel much fresher and more vibrant, and the overall atmosphere is much more pleasant. Overall, my home has become more comfortable and suited to my lifestyle. The changes made it feel more personal and welcoming, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Question number four. Now tell me about the problems you have experienced at home. What were those problems? How did they occur? How did you deal with those problems? Okay. One day, I started hearing a strange sound coming from the bathroom, like water dripping. At first, I didn't think much of it, but over time, I noticed that water was leaking through the gaps between the tiles. It turned out that there was an issue with the plumbing connection in the bathroom, and the water was slowly leaking through. I decided to call a professional plumber to take a look, and it turned out to be a bigger problem than I expected. The repair ended up costing a significant amount, but after that, everything was fixed and there was no more issues. It was a stressful experience at the time, but I'm glad it's all sorted out now. Question number one. You indicated that you like to listen to music. What type of music do you like listening to? Who is your favorite singer or composer? What is special about his music? I absolutely love listening to music, and while I'm not that picky about music, but I particularly enjoy classical and jazz music. One of my favorite composers is Morten Lorison, a contemporary choral composer. His music is special because it creates such magical harmonies and His choral works are simply stunning. Two of his pieces that I really love are O Magnum Mysterium and On at the Lux. These pieces are pure works of art and have a calming effect on me. They help me relax, relieve stress, and even take me into a sort of dreamlike state. I find that listening to his music is a wonderful way to unwind after a busy day. Question number two. When and where do you like to listen to music? Or why do you listen to music? Where and when do you normally go to listen to music? Do you go to the concert hall or enjoy music by listening to TV shows or radio? Tell me about a variety of ways that you enjoy music. Uh, like I mentioned earlier, I listen to a variety of music depending on the situation. For example, when I'm cleaning, I tend to listen to upbeat K-pop or dance music to keep my energy up. But when I'm at home and I want some quiet time, I enjoy classical or jazz music. I also love going to a concert hall at the Seoul Art Center to listen to symphonic performances live. The feeling of the music filling the spacious hall with its beautiful reverb is something I truly enjoy. It feels as though the sound surrounds me, creating an incredible atmosphere. Another thing I really enjoy is going to a jazz bar to listen to live jazz performances. The atmosphere there is fantastic and the music feels so lively and intimate. Whether it's at home, at a concert hall, or out at the jazz bar, music is a big part of my life, and I love how it can set the mood for any situation. Question number three. Pick two different types of music or composers you like. What is special about each type of music? What are some similarities and differences between the two? As I mentioned earlier, I enjoy listening to different types of music depending on the situation. But two composers I particularly love are Morten Rorison and George Friedrich Handel. Both have had a huge influence on classical music, but their styles are quite different. Morten Rorison is a contemporary choral composer known for his beautiful harmonies and emotional depths. His music, like O Magnum Mysterium and On at the Rooks, creates a serene and calming atmosphere. I find his compositions are deeply moving, with their rich, rush harmonies that bring a sense of peace and stillness. Rudizen's works have a modern feel, but still maintain a timeless beauty that draws you in and makes you feel connected to something greater. On the other hand, George Friedrich Handel, a Baroque composer, is famous for his grand and powerful oratorios such as Messiah and Water Music. Handel's music is known for its dramatic intensity and emotional expressiveness, particularly in his choral works. While Rodin's music can be smoothing and introspective, Handel's compositions often have a sense of celebration and grandeur, with rich melodies that evoke a wide range of emotions. The main difference between the two composers is in the style and the era they represent. Rosen's music is more modern, focusing on beautiful harmonies and emotional expression, while Handel's compositions are rooted in Baroque traditions, with a strong emphasis on grandeur and dramatic expression. However, both composers create music that resonates with me emotionally, and I appreciate the ability to capture the human experience in different ways. Question number four. Tell me about a time when you went to listen to some live music. Perhaps it was a concert or a live cafe. What was the mood like, and how did you like the music you listened to there? I remember going to a concert with my friend a couple of years ago at the Seoul Art Center to see pianist Yunchan Lim and conductor Myung-hoon Jung perform a Beethoven's piano concerto. The concert hall was packed with people and the atmosphere was absolutely electric. Yunchan's passionate performance was so moving that it gave me goosebumps. The entire concert was a huge success, and my friend and I had amazing time. Looking back, I'll say it was one of the best concerts I ever been to. It was definitely worth the money, and I hope to go again sometime. Question number 5. Has the music that you listen to changed since you were young? When I was younger, I wasn't really into music, and I didn't pay much attention to it. But everything changed when I was in the school dance club and we had a performance. I saw a live band play and I was hooked. After that, I stopped dancing and started saving up for an electric guitar. I practiced a lot for about months, playing guitar nonstop, and eventually started a band with some friends. The band that really influenced me at the time was Pantera. I totally looked up to their guitarist, and for a while, their music was a huge part of my life. Since then, my taste in music has changed a lot. I still enjoy the rock and heavy metal from back then. I've also gotten into other genres like classical and jazz. But the moment of discovering music through live performances and learning to play guitar was definitely a turning point for me. Question number 1. I'd like to know about restaurants in your country. What the typical restaurant you like? What kind of food do they commonly offer? How often do you personally go to those type of places? There are tons of barbecue restaurants in Korea, and they pretty much everywhere. Most of them are located on busy street near public transportation, like bus stop or subway stations. The one I go to is close to my place, which takes me about 10 minutes on foot. It's a two-story restaurant, and on the first floor, there's a huge cafe where people can grab some coffee and hang out. The second floor is the restaurant itself, with a big open space for dining. They serve various types of food, like beef, pork, stuff like that. And you can grill your own food right at the table. I go there at least once or twice a month, so I guess you could say I'm pretty regular there. This kind of barbecue place is pretty typical in Korea, and one of my favorite types of restaurants. Question number 2. Now tell me about a restaurant you used to go to as a child. What was it like? What did you eat? Whom did you go with? What do you remember the most about the place? Tell me about the restaurant in as much detail as possible. Okay. When I was a child, one of my happiest memories was going to a Chinese restaurant with my family. There were always Chinese restaurants in every neighborhood, and and they were great places to eat together. My family and I would often go to one close to my place, and it had such a friendly, welcoming atmosphere. We, we'd usually order jjajangmyeon and 탕수육, and those were always my favorite dishes. The food was so delicious, and we always enjoyed our time there. The restaurant wasn't fancy, but it felt like a special place where we could relax and enjoy a good meal together. I remember the warm feeling of being with my family, laughing and talking over a great meal. It's one of those places that I always look back on fondly. Question number three. Now tell me about a memorable experience you had while eating something. It could be good or bad. What happened? Why was it so memorable or special? Tell me everything in as much detail as possible. Talk about a memorable incident that happened at a gathering or a celebration. Why was it memorable? What made it unforgettable? Haha. I remember having a gathering with my friends in Cheongju, and we went to a barbecue restaurant for the evening. It was one of those places that everyone recommended, and I had heard they had the best meat in town. The food was amazing, and juicy, a tender meat, and all the side dishes were delicious. We ended up drinking quite a lot and a little drunk because I drank on an empty stomach. I don't know when it started to go bad, but at some point I realized I was in trouble. I had a total blackout and I couldn't remember what happened that night. And the next day, I felt terrible from the hangover. My friend tried to get me some medicine to help, but it didn't really work. It was definitely one of those memorable nights I don't ever want to repeat. Since then, I try not to drink too much, especially when I'm with friends. Question number four. Tell me about a restaurant you ate out at recently. What kind of restaurant was it? What was their menu and what did you eat? Whom did you go with? Did you like how the food tasted? What did you do at your last gathering or celebration? What was the occasion? Give me all the details about the gathering or the celebration you had. Recently, my friend and I went to this amazing barbecue restaurant in my neighborhood. We love it because they serve some of the best meat at a really good price. I often have gatherings with my friends and family there because the place is well known for its juicy and tender meat and it's usually full of people all through the year. They serve various types of food like beef, pork, and stuff like that. Among them, I would say beef would be my favorite. When we had dinner last time, the food there was so tasty and side dishes were extra good. The atmosphere was very cozy and comfortable, and staffs were really friendly. We had a lot of food and I felt very satisfied after I finished the food. Overall, it was a wonderful dinner and I had a great time with my friend. Question number one. You indicated that you go to the cafe or coffee shops. Describe what the coffee shop you go to often looks like. What is special about that place? What do you do while you're there? There are tons of coffee shops in Korea. They're pretty much everywhere. Most of them are located on busy streets close to public transportation like buses or subways. One of my favorites is a Starbucks near my place, which takes me about 10 minutes on foot. It's a two-story building, and on the first floor, there's a spacious area with a bakery. So you can grab a coffee and some fresh bread. They even have a drive-through, which is super convenient if you're in a rush. The second floor has a huge open space with a large table and coffee chairs, and it's a popular spot for people to chat or study. They serve all kinds of coffee drinks, and their specialty coffee is definitely my favorite. They also have great sandwiches, which makes for the perfect rice snack. I usually go there at least once or twice a week, so I'll say I'm pretty much a regular there. Question number two. How have coffee shops changed over the years? How were they in the past and how are they now? Is there anything special about them today? I've been going to coffee shops since I was in college, and I've definitely seen a lot of changes over the years. Back then, there weren't many coffee shops in my neighborhood. The ones around were mostly big franchises, and they were a bit pricey. The coffee menu was pretty limited, and there weren't many drink options besides the basics. But today, coffee shops have really changed. And there are so many more of them, and they are everywhere. Now, I see a lot of small local coffee shops popping up in my town. Many of them have their own specialty coffee and unique drinks. Some are even known for their amazing desserts and like cakes and cookies. The best part is that the prices are much more affordable now. You can get a basic cup of coffee just for just $1. Or you can treat yourself to something special for around $10. I love these changes because as a coffee lover, it's great to have so many choices whenever and wherever I want. Question number three. Tell me about a memorable incident that happened at a coffee shop. What happened? Who was involved? How did you deal with the situation? Tell me everything about what happened from beginning to the end. I remember a time when I bumped into a friend from university at a coffee shop a few months ago. I was waiting in line to get my coffee, and suddenly someone tapped me on the shoulder. I turned around, and to my surprise, it was an old friend from university, someone I hadn't seen for years. He looked a lot different, with longer hair and a more artistic vibe, so I didn't immediately recognize him. He hadn't been in touch in over a decade, so it was quite a shock at first. After the initial surprise wore off, we were both really happy to see each other. We grabbed a table and did a lot of catching up. It felt amazing because even though so many years had passed, it felt like no time had gone by at all. We talked about everything, how life had been, what we had been up to, and shared a lot of great memories. We've tried to stay in touch since then, and it's been really nice to reconnect after all the time. It was a moment that really made me so appreciate how small the world can feel sometimes, and how life can surprise you in the most unexpected ways. Question number four. What do you normally do when you go to coffee shops? Do you have meetings or gathering there? Tell me what you like to do. When I go to coffee shops, I don't just go for the coffee. It's more about the atmosphere and the experience. Coffee shops are great places to spend time with friends, have meetings, or just relax on my own. In Korea, there's a coffee shop culture where people often go not just for a drink, but to catch up with loved ones, read a book, or enjoy the environment. It's really popular, and you can find coffee shops everywhere. In my hometown, for example, there are at least five large coffee shops on the main street alone. Most coffee shops have a cozy, welcoming vibe, making it easy to sit and enjoy your drink for hours. People often go with friends or family to chat after shopping or just to hang out. Sometimes I go there to meet friends or casual gathering, or even for a small meeting. But I also enjoy going by myself, especially to read or write. Sometimes I even do some work, like catching up on company stuff. With free Wi-Fi available in many places, it's easy to spend a long time there, whether I'm working or just taking a break. Question number one. You indicated that you go to bars. Describe the bar you go to most often. Tell me everything about the place in detail. There are tons of bars in Korea, and they're pretty much everywhere. Most of them are located on busy streets near public transportation, like buses or subways. The bar I go to most often is called Red Zeppelin, which takes me about 10 minutes on foot. It's located on the fourth floor of a building right in front of a waterfront park, which gives it a nice, relaxed vibe. The atmosphere there is great. There is high quality sound coming from these massive JBL speakers and a Macintosh amplifier, which makes the music sound amazing. They serve various types of drinks, including different types of draft beer and bottled ones. They also have a wide selection of side dishes like margherita pizza and caprese, which is an Italian fusion dish made with fresh mozzarella and tomatoes and basil. It's a place where you can go for a laid-back evening, enjoy good food and drink, and appreciate the great sound system. I usually go there once or twice a month, so I guess I'm pretty much a regular there. Question number two. How have pubs changed over the years? How are they in the past and how are they now? Is there anything special about them today? I've been going to pubs since I was in college, and I've definitely seen a lot of changes over the years. In the past, there weren't many big franchises bars around. Most places were small, local pubs with limited drink options. They usually only served domestic beers, and the side dishes were quite basic. Craft beer wasn't as common back then. But things have changed a lot in recent years. Now, there are tons of franchise bars everywhere, and many of them serve a wider selection of drinks, including various types of craft beer. Some places are even known for their fresh, crisp beer and great side dishes. The prices are more affordable now too. I'm really happy with these changes because I love meeting up with friends and going to bars. Now, depending on the situation, we have a lot more options to choose from. Question number three. Now tell me about a memorable experience you had while eating something. It could be good or bad. What happened? Why was it so memorable or special? Tell me everything in as much detail as possible. Talk about the memorable incident that happened at a gathering or a celebration. Why was it memorable? What made it unforgettable? I remember a memorable gathering with my friends in downtown Seoul. After dinner, we decided to go to the bar. And there was a well-known bar. I thought they had the best beer and good side dishes. The problem was I hadn't gotten much sleep the night before because of work. So I was already feeling tired and a little hungry when I met up with my friends. We ended up drinking quite a lot, and I didn't realize how much I had drank on an empty stomach. Before I knew it, I had a total blackout and couldn't remember what happened that night. The next day, I woke up feeling terrible because of the hangover, and I had no memory of how I got back home. I panicked when I thought about how I must have managed it to get back home that drunk. My friends tried to help by giving me some medicine, but it didn't really do much. It was such a rough experience, and since then, I try not to drink a lot, especially when I'm out with friends. Question number one. I'd like to ask you to describe a healthy person you know of. What makes that person healthy? Why do you think that way? Tell me everything about the things that make that person healthier. What are something you have tried personally to stay healthy? Did you work out or try it anything different to become healthier? Tell me everything about the things you have tried for your health. Okay, my friends often tell me that I'm a healthy person, and I believe it's because I'm very health conscious. I rarely drink, I make an effort to eat healthy, and I work out regularly. I'm committed to getting the right amount of fruits and vegetables because they are packed with vitamins and fiber. I also take healthy supplements like multivitamins and calcium to support my overall well-being. I strongly believe that staying away from coffee and sugar drinks is key to maintaining good health. As a result, I try to limit my intake of coffee and sodas like Coke and Sprite. I'm also passionate about staying active, so I make it a point to work out both at a gym and in the park. I often go to a nearby park that has a large running track, and I usually run there for about 30 minutes. Honestly, running is not my favorite thing, but it's a good way to stay in a good shape. Between maintaining a good diet and getting plenty of exercise, I'd say I'm doing my best to lead a healthy lifestyle. I also recognize the importance of getting enough sleep and practicing meditation. I aim to get at least 7 hours of quality sleep every night, and I've made it a habit to wake up every morning and start my day with stretching, right exercises, and meditation. It's, uh, it's part of my daily routine, and it helps me mentally and physically prepare for the day ahead, keeping me balanced and energized. Question number two. Something wrong can happen to our health sometimes. With some health problems we can have. Describe in detail what can happen when someone loses his or her health. How can a health problem be fixed? I believe that food and exercise are crucial for maintaining good health. First of all, if we eat a lot of processed or frozen foods that are packed with artificial ingredients, we're likely to gain weight. And once we gain weight, it can lead to a range of health problems like high blood pressure and high cholesterol. On top of that, if we spend too much time sitting around, like watching TV all day, it's not good for our health either. We need to get at least 30 minutes of exercise a day, whether it's walking, jogging, or even doing yoga. If we neglect our physical activity, our muscles and overall health can weaken, and over time, we could lose our health completely. That's why it's so important to think about what we eat, how much we eat, and how often we exercise. A balanced diet and regular exercise are key to maintaining healthy life. Question number three. Now tell me how your parents' generation used to maintain their health in the past. How it is different from what your generation does. Give me all the details. In the past, people didn't have a clear understanding of how to maintain good health. My parents, for example, did simple things to stay healthy, but they didn't have access to the information we have today. They didn't know much about the importance of a balanced diet, including the need for fruits, vegetables, and health supplements like vitamins and calcium. They were also very busy with their daily lives, so finding time to exercise was difficult. The only physical activity they regularly did was hiking on the weekends. But today, we have much more knowledge about health and we understand the importance of a healthy diet. We make an effort to eat organic foods and focus on getting more greens and fruits in our meals. There are also many different types of exercise available to us, like yoga, Pilates, spinning, and more. I believe people today are much more conscious of their health compared to previous generations. Question number one. You indicated in the survey that you like to go jogging. When do you normally jog? Who do you go with? Where do you go jogging? What is special about that place? What can you see there? There's a large park near my place, just a 10-minute bike ride away. It's a lake park with a 4 km running track that goes all the way around the lake. It's a popular spot, and you'll often see people running, jogging, or walking. The park also has many sport facilities like a swimming pool, soccer field, basketball courts, and kayaking area, and even biking passes, so it's usually filled with the people year-round. I typically go there on my own to get some fresh air and exercise. The running track is great, and I usually jog there for about 30 minutes. To be honest, jogging is my favorite activity, but it's an effective way to stay in a good shape. I like to listen to music while I jog. It helps me relieve stress and stay motivated. The atmosphere around the lake is peaceful and energizing, and I really enjoy the experience. It's perfect place for both relaxation and a good workout. Question number three. Please describe a memorable experience you had while jogging. What happened? Why was it so memorable? Who were you with? I remember going to the park alone to run on the track. When I first arrived, the weather was a bit cloudy, but there was no rain. I had been running for about 30 minutes, and all of a sudden, it started raining really hard. I didn't have an umbrella, so everyone had to go inside. I wanted to stay out and keep running, but the rain was just too heavy, so we had to wait inside until it stopped. Even though I got completely drenched, I actually felt kind of refreshed afterward. It was definitely a memorable experience. Even though the rain interrupted my jog, it still made the day stand out. Question number four. What things do you normally take with you to avoid injury? Are there any safety precautions you take to avoid injury? Before I go jogging on a track, I always make sure to do some warm-up exercises, like stretching my feet, legs, and ankles. But I make sure I don't rush my warm-up. I also wear comfortable running shoes to protect my feet and ankles. Last time, I didn't wear the right shoes, and I ended up getting blisters all over my feet. So I've learned my lesson. In addition to that, I always wear comfortable running shorts. If I wear anything too tight or too loose, it can be really uncomfortable while jogging. And these are the precautions I take to avoid injury. Question number five. What are some advantages of jogging? How is it different with other sports? Tell me about similarities and differences. Well, I have to say, jogging has a lot of benefits. First, whenever I go to the park, the view is really scenic, so I feel so relaxed and it makes me really comfortable. Of course, it's not always easy to go out for jogging, especially on cloudy or hot, muggy days. But once I get out there, it really helps me relieve stress and stay fit. I remember the first time I went to the park and started jogging there. I needed to lose some weight and stay in a good shape. Another great thing about jogging is that you don't need much equipment. All you need is a good pair of comfortable shoes, some workout clothes, and water. Unlike other sports like baseball, snowboarding, or scuba diving, jogging is something you can do pretty much anywhere, whenever you want. That's one of the reasons I love it so much. Question number one. You indicated that you go to parks. Tell me about one of the parks that you often visit. What does it look like? Tell me what people do at the park. Or you indicated in the survey that you like to take a walk. Where do you usually take a walk? What does it look like? Where is it located? Please describe the place you usually take a walk. There is a park near my place, just a 10 minutes walk away. I really enjoy going to parks because they're a perfect place to relax or take a walk. I think every city needs green spaces where people can escape from the hustle and bustle. People often get caught up with work, so they definitely need a place to unwind. In my favorite park, there are plenty of sport facilities, so it is usually full of people all through the year. You'll see people jogging, playing basketball, walking, and just enjoying their free time. The park is a great place to take a break and recharge. Question number two. When was the last time you went to the park? Who did you go with? And what did you do? Please tell me in detail. The last time I went to the park was a couple of weeks ago. I went by myself because I'd gained some weight over the holidays, so I decided to go to the park to get some exercise and stay in good shape. I went to the park that's close to my place. There are a lot of sports facilities there, but my favorite is the running track. It's really well maintained, and you can either walk or jog along the lake in the center of the park. It's a great place to clear my mind while getting some fresh air and exercise. Question number three. Pick two popular parks that you know of and tell me about the similarities and differences. Which one do you prefer and why? There are many parks in Korea, and among them, I'd like to talk about two. One being the famous Han River Park, and the other, a smaller, a local park near my house. Han River Park is huge with various sections catering to different interests and age groups. There's expansive grass areas where people play soccer, other sports, or just relax and have picnics. Um, they often host music festivals, so you can enjoy live music while being outdoors. It's also home to one of the largest firework festivals in the world, making it a popular spot for both locals and tourists. On the other hand, the small park near my house is much quieter and more peaceful. It's a picturesque spot where I can simply sit and relax and contemplate while enjoying the beautiful flowers. It's a wonderful place for a quiet escape from the hustle and bustle. Although I don't get to visit as often as I'd liked, due to my busy schedule. Um, However, knowing that as there makes it special to me. Between the two, I prefer the local park near my house because it offers a more peaceful and personal experience. It's where I feel I can truly relax and enjoy some quiet time. Question number four. There might be some issues about today's park. What's the biggest issues in the park in your country these days? As I mentioned earlier, there are many parks in Korea, and people of all ages and interests enjoy spending time there. However, one of the biggest issues in the parks these days is overcrowding, especially on weekends. The parks are often packed with people, which can be overwhelming. But beyond that, I would say trash is one of the biggest problems. People often leave their waste on benches, on grass, and just about everywhere in the park. Although there are recycling bins in some areas, it seems that people don't pay much attention to properly disposing of their trash. I really hope that people start being more mindful and make an effort to keep the parks clean for everyone to enjoy. Question number five. Compare activities the children do at parks with those that adults do while they are there. Or what are the differences? How are the facilities at the parks different for children and adults? Parks are popular places for both adults and children to spend their free time, especially on weekends. And there are many parks in my neighborhood, and they're usually full of people all through the year. I often see people enjoying various activities like playing basketball, walking, or just relaxing. For children, the park is a place where they can have fun and be active. And they enjoy play sports in facilities like basketball courts or tennis courts, or using areas designed for skateboarding. Younger kids often play in the playground, sliding down slides or swinging on swings with their parents. As for adults, they tend to enjoy more relaxed activities. Many adults, including myself, like to take walks, sit on benches, or occasionally jog on the track. I personally love running on the track because it helps relieve stress and keeps me in good shape. I've also noticed many other adults enjoying their runs and jogs there. In terms of facilities, parks typically provide playgrounds and recreational areas for children, while others often have access to walking paths, running tracks, and sitting areas for relaxation. These are some of activities and facilities that cater to both children and adults in the park. Question number one. You indicated that you like to go on trips domestically. Tell me about places you like to visit the most. Why do you like to visit that place? Describe the location in as much detail as possible. Okay, if I had to choose a place to travel domestically, I would definitely pick Jeju Island. It's home to some of the most famous beaches in Korea, and the water is incredibly clean. Whenever I visit, I always look forward to the stunning sunrise and sunset, the warm sunlight, and the natural beauty that surrounds the shore. The scenery in the summer is especially breathtaking, as the sand glitters like diamonds, and the water is vibrant shade of blue. Since Jeju is a popular tourist destination, it tends to get crowded, especially in the summer, with many people visiting daily. However, I absolutely love spending my time at the beach. It offers the perfect place for swimming, running, and playing in the sand. I often play beach volleyball with my kids, and we enjoy fresh seafood and other delicious local dishes during our stay. The nights by the beach are particularly enchanting. The atmosphere is completely different from the daytime, with its quiet, peaceful vibe. I've even visited the beach at midnight, and it's an entirely different experience, one that's mesmerizing and so calming. Question number two. Tell me about a particularly memorable trip to the beach. Who were you with? Which beach were you at? What did you do there? What made this trip to the beach more memorable or special? Tell me everything you did from the moment you arrived there. Okay. One of my most memorable trips to the beach was when I visited Gumnung Beach on the northwest side of Jeju with my kids last summer. We spent the whole day enjoying the water, swimming, and having fun. The kids loved catching clams, crabs, and even some small fish, which made the experience even more exciting. During the day, we spent time playing on the beach, and in the evening, we went to a local restaurant to enjoy some delicious Jeju cuisine. The local dishes were fresh and full of flavor, making the day even more enjoyable. What made this trip so special was the combination of quality time spent with my kids, the beautiful beach, and the joy of discovering new things together. It was an unforgettable experience, and I always remember the fun we had by the beach. Question number three. How is traveling today different from the past? What are some difficulties people go through regarding trips? Has traveling become more difficult in any way? If so, tell me why. Honestly, I don't think traveling has become more difficult than in the past. In fact, I believe it's become much easier. First of all, transportation has improved significantly. It used to take a lot of time to travel. For instance, it used to take over 8 hours to get to the south of the country by train. But now we have the KTX express train, which only takes 2 hours. Plus, there are more stations along the way, making public transportation much more accessible for travelers. Secondly, driving has also become much easier thanks to GPS. In the past, we had to rely on paper maps, but now GPS not only gives directions but also shows traffic updates and guides you to the fastest route. So overall, I'd say that traveling has become much more convenient and less stressful than before. Question number four. What are some things you do in order to prepare for a trip? Before I travel, there's a lot I need to prepare. First, I always gather information online. There are plenty of resources like travel blogs and commercial travel websites that provide useful tips and advice to help make my trip smoother. I also make sure to pack appropriate clothing for the destination and bring extra toiletries, just in case. In addition, I always carry a first aid kit, including things like band-aids and any emergency medication I might need. Most importantly, I never forget my phone. It serves as my camera, GPS, and the primary way I stay in touch with family and friends while I'm away. You answered in the survey that you travel internationally. Discuss a city or a country that you have visited on vacation. What does this place look like? Where is it located? What are the people like and what else is unique about it? A couple of years ago, I went on a family vacation to Phuket, Thailand, with my parents and kids. Phuket is one of the most popular tourist destinations in Thailand, known for its beautiful beaches, crystal clear waters, and vibrant nightlife. It's located in the southern part of Thailand, and it's often called the Pearl of the Andaman Sea. We visited during the off-season to avoid the crowds, and the weather was perfect. The beach was peaceful, and we spent a lot of time swimming, relaxing, and playing in the sand. We also visited some cultural landmarks and a local market, which allowed us to experience authentic Thai culture and cuisine. The people in Phuket are incredibly friendly and welcoming, always greeting us with a smile. One of the highlights of the trip was trying out Thai street food, delicious and full of flavor. I definitely recommend visiting Phuket for anyone looking for a tropical getaway. It's a place where you can unwind, enjoy natural beauty, and experience the warmth of Thai hospitality. Question number two. Tell me about a foreign country you visited when you were young. What was special about that visit? What do you remember doing? I remember my first overseas trip when I was a university student. It was to Toronto, Canada, where I went for a language course. I went there during the fall and winter, which was a completely different experience for me. I recall visiting Algonquin Provincial Park, which was absolutely stunning. The autumn leaves were in the full color, and the vibrant red, orange, and yellow foliage was breathtaking. I also remember hiking around the frozen lake, with the snow covering everything in sight, creating a peaceful and serene atmosphere. During my time there, I had the opportunity to experience the beauty of nature up close, and it made a lasting impression on me. The crisp, cold air and the stunning landscapes made feel like I was in a completely different world. I had the chance to interact with people from various cultures, and it helped me gain a deeper appreciation for the diversity and the beauty of the world. The trip was special because it opened my eyes to the wonders of traveling and exploring new places. Question number three. Tell me about a story that your people around you experienced when traveling overseas. What exactly happened and what made the incident memorable? About 10 years ago, I was sent to the US for work, and during my time in Detroit, I frequently visited the Detroit Symphony Orchestra for performances. On one occasion, I arrived early at the concert hall and found myself in the lobby, where I noticed a group of old white patrons gathered in small clusters, chatting about music. Hmm. I was the only Asian in the crowd, and I felt a bit out of place. Then, an elderly woman came up to me, intrigued by my presence. She asked where I was from, how I got to the concert, and what kind of music I liked. She was so kind and curious, and before long, she shared her love for the Detroit Symphony Orchestra and told me how long she had been a fan. Her passion for the music was so genuine, and we had a great conversation. When the performance started, I was completely immersed in the beautiful music, but that interaction with the lady in the lobby stayed with me. It was one of those unexpected moments of connection that made the entire experience even more memorable. Question number four. People must prepare before travel. What do you do to prepare for travel? Do you research in advance or make reservations? What special things do you do? Please describe your preparation in detail. Before I travel, I make sure to prepare well in advance. First, I gather information by researching online, and there are plenty of sources like travel blogs, forums, and official websites that provide useful advice for a smoother trip. I also like to check out reviews and recommendations for hotels and activities from other travelers. When it comes to accommodations, I usually make reservations early, especially when I can find special deals for hotels or attractions. It's always better to plan ahead to avoid any last-minute surprises. I also pack appropriate clothes based on the destination's weather and culture, and I make sure to bring extra toiletry just in case. Another thing I always do is carry a small first aid kit, including things like band-aids and basic medications for emergencies. And of course, I never forget to bring my cell phone. It's essential for taking pictures and navigating with GPS and staying in touch with family and friends while I'm away. And these preparations help ensure I have a stress-free and enjoyable trip. Question number one. Talk about gatherings and celebrations in your country. What do people do when they get together or to celebrate things? There are two biggest holidays in Korea, which are Lunar New Year's Day and Korean Thanksgiving Day, called Chuseok. During these celebrations, families gather to spend time together and give thanks to their ancestors for bountiful harvest. It's a time when people visit their parents and relatives, catching up and reconnecting. For Chuseok, we make traditional foods with a special rice cake called songpyeon being a must. It's also common for people to exchange gifts, and younger family members may receive allowances from their elders. A fun part of the celebration is playing a traditional Korean game called Yunori, which everyone can enjoy. It's a great way to bring people together and add some excitement to the atmosphere. Since these holidays are a rare opportunity for families to come together, everyone makes an effort to spend as much time as possible with loved ones. Question number two. What did you do at your last gathering or celebration? What was the occasion? Give me all the details about the gathering or the celebration you had. A few days ago, we celebrated Lunar New Year's Day, and it was quite a memorable experience. The weather was a bit challenging as there was a heavy snowfall that day. I had to drive carefully to my parents' house, but thankfully I made it safely. Once we arrived, the whole family gathered and we spent the day together. We cooked traditional holiday food and enjoyed it together. It was a nice reconnect and share a meal. The kids were thrilled because of the heavy snow, so they quickly went outside and had a blast making snowmen. It was wonderful seeing them so excited, and it really did to the festive atmosphere. After a fun day of family time, we had a warm and cozy evening, and it felt like a perfect way to celebrate the holiday. Question number three. Talk about a memorable incident that happened at a gathering or a celebration. Why was it so memorable? Or what made it unforgettable? I remember a memorable gathering with my family during the recent Lunar New Year's Day. We gathered at my parents' house, and after enjoying the holiday food together, we decided to play Yunori, a traditional Korean board game. It's a game that's often played during holidays and is loved by people of all ages. It was really exciting and fun, especially with everyone getting involved. We were divided into two teams, and each team took turns casting the sticks. The game created so much laughter and made the atmosphere even more lively. It was not only a fun activity, but also a wonderful way for us to reconnect and bond. As we shared stories and caught up with each other, the experience was special because of the joy we shared as a family. And it's something I'll definitely remember for a long time. Question number four. The process of making plans for gathering can be difficult sometimes. What are some issues related to making plans for a gathering? How do people deal with those problems? When it comes to organizing gatherings, one of the biggest challenges is coordinating schedules. For example, if you want to meet up with a group of friends, it can be tricky to find a day when everyone is available. Some people have work commitments, others may already have plans, and finding a time that works for everyone can be a struggle. However, people are generally free on weekends, so when I plan to hang out with friends, we usually aim for the weekend. To avoid conflict, we try to plan ahead, often a couple of weeks in advance, so that everyone has enough time to adjust their schedules. This helps ensure that more people can join in and that the gatherings go smoothly. By planning early, we can deal with the problem of busy schedules and make sure everyone has time to enjoy the get together. Question number one. What do you like most about your phone? Why is that? What piece of technology do you use every day? How do you use it and how often do you use this gadget? I really enjoy using my phone and it's definitely one of my most used gadgets. I take it with me everywhere because it's so convenient. And I can do a lot of things with it. For example, when I exercise, I like to listen to How I Digit Tech YouTube channel. It keeps me motivated and energized. My phone also keeps me connected to the world. Through social media apps like Instagram and Facebook, I can stay in touch with friends and people all over the world. Whether it's posting pictures, checking up on friends' updates, or just browsing through the news, my phone helps me stay connected. It's truly a multitasking device that fits into my daily routine in so many ways. Question number two. Tell me about a time when you had trouble using your phone. Tell me about a time when you had trouble due to a new technology. I remember having some trouble when I switched to a new phone a couple of years ago. I used to have an iPhone 12 mini, but I decided to try the Samsung Galaxy Fold 5. I wasn't used to the new operating system, the web browser, or even the camera features. The first challenge was transferring all my pictures and data from my old phone to the new one. Since the two phones use different operating systems, I had trouble transferring some files to the Galaxy. On top of that, I had to set up my accounts again and re-enter passwords for everything I downloaded. I kept forgetting the new passwords, which was really frustrating. It took me about a week to get the hang of everything and feel comfortable with new phone. But after some time, I got used to it and now I enjoy the new features. Question number three. How was the first phone you used? What is the difference between the phone you used back then and the phone you use now? The first phone I used was 2G phone. It was pretty basic. I could only send the text messages and make calls. I couldn't access the internet at all. Fast forward to today, and the phone I use now is a smartphone with tons of features. I can browse the internet whenever I want. Even while I'm on the go, many websites have become mobile friendly, which makes it even easier to access information. Plus, there's free Wi-Fi available in a lot of public places like coffee shops and restaurants, which is super convenient. Smartphones have really revolutionized how we use the internet, making it possible to stay connected anywhere. Question number four. Tell me about some issues people talk about related to cell phones. Why do they talk about the topic? Why is it a problem? Tell me about some issues people talk about related to technology. Why do people talk about the topic? Why is it a problem? As technology has evolved, there have definitely been a lot of issues that come with it. One of the biggest ones today is our smartphones. While they've made our lives a lot easier, it's crazy how dependent we've become on them. It's hard to imagine life without them now. We spend so much time on our phones, especially with everything moving so fast. The problem is, smartphones can be really distracting when we need to focus on something important, like working or studying. I've definitely had times when I've needed to concentrate on project or report, but end up checking notifications or scrolling through the internet instead. These days, a lot of kids are dealing with the same smartphone addiction. I think the real issue here is how easy it is to get hooked on these devices and how hard it is to avoid distractions. Question number one. What do you normally do on the internet? What are your internet habits? Do you shop for things online? Do you read books or post videos? Talk about the things you do when you surf the internet. Talk about the videos that you watch on the internet. They can be about work, school, or leisure activities. What types of videos do you typically watch? I use the internet almost every day, mostly through my smartphone. It's incredibly convenient since I can access everything while on the go. I often shop online for things I need, especially books or items related to hobbies I enjoy. I also read ebooks quite a lot. The convenience of being able to read whenever and wherever I want has made it a big part of my routine. In addition, I spend time watching videos on YouTube, both for entertainment and learning purposes. I watch a mix of videos from short clips of my favorite TV shows to educational content. Specifically, I watch videos to help me improve my English, including lessons and even watching American TV shows to get more exposure to nature conversations. I also use social media like Instagram and Facebook to stay connected with friends and keep up with the latest trends. So overall, I do a lot of things on the internet, from shopping to learning and staying social. It's a huge part of my daily life, and I enjoy using it to make life a little more convenient and fun. Question number two. Tell me about your first experience of surfing the internet. What did you do? How has internet usage changed over the years? I believe my first experience with the internet was back in school. I had a computer class once or twice a week, and during those sessions, I learned how to use computers properly. My teacher showed us how to use search engines like Google and Naver. I remember being amazed by how I could find almost any information I was looking for with just a few clicks. From that point, from that point on, I became hooked on surfing the internet. These days, I mostly use my smartphone to surf the web. I browse the internet much more frequently, and I can do it anywhere, even when I'm on the move. Many websites are now designed to be mobile friendly, which makes it easier to access information on my phone. Plus, I can take advantage of free Wi-Fi at public places like coffee shops and restaurants. The biggest change in internet usage, I'd say, has been the rise of smartphones, which has made browsing the internet far more convenient and accessible. Question number three. We all have things that we remember on the internet. Talk about the memorable things that you have seen on the internet. Why were they memorable? hmm One of the most memorable experiences I had related to the internet was when I created a website for a welfare facility about 20 years ago. Back when smartphones didn't exist yet. It was my first time ever making a website, and I had to teach myself everything from scratch. I spent countless hours searching for resources online, on running web design and how to code. The best part was when people started visiting the site and gave positive feedback. It felt like such a huge accomplishment, especially because I was doing it on my own. That experience really helped me understand how the internet works, and it deepened my appreciation for how websites function. It was a turning point for me, and the knowledge I gained from that project has influenced a lot of the work I do today. Looking back, it was definitely one of the most memorable moments for me on the internet. Question number four. What are some issues people talk about regarding the internet? What are their concerns and why are those concerns a problem? Are security problems on the internet a problem? If so, talk about that issue. As the internet continues to evolve, it brings with it a number of issues. One of the biggest concerns today is smartphone usage and how it affects our relationship with the internet. While smartphones have undoubtedly brought a lot of convenience and benefits, we've become so dependent on them that it's hard to imagine life without them. The issue is that we're spending more and more time on our devices, surfing the web or checking updates, especially in the fast-paced world. The problem is that it can be extremely distracting when you need to focus on important tasks like studying or working. I remember when I was working, and there were times when I knew I needed to focus on an important project or report. But I often found myself getting distracted by notifications or scrolling through social media instead. It wasn't just me. Many people, even adults, struggle with staying focused because of smartphones. We also see that this issue of smartphone addiction is affecting a lot of younger people as well. The constant distractions make it difficult to maintain concentration, and it ends up impacting productivity and the quality of the work. Distraction and addiction to smartphones and the internet have become major problems with today's technology. And these issues not only affect productivity but also impact mental health and well-being. Question number five. How is internet usage different among generations? What do younger people commonly do online and what do older people do online? The younger generation tends to be much more tech savvy compared to the older generation. They use the internet for almost everything, from studying, shopping, and exploring hobbies to even working out. With the wide variety of activities they can engage in, younger people tend to spend much more time on different websites, constantly staying connected and exploring new things. On the other hand, the older generation typically uses the internet for simpler tasks such as checking the news, browsing websites, or staying in touch with family and friends. While both generations rely on the internet in their daily lives, the way they use it tends to differ. Younger people are more immersed in the digital world, whereas older individuals may use it more functionally, focusing on specific tasks. Overall, even though the internet has become a central part of everyone's lives, the way you use it varies significantly between generations. Question number one. Tell me about the weather at where you live. How are the seasons? What is the weather like in each season? Which season you do you personally like? Tell me everything about the weather. South Korea has fairly straightforward weather, with four distinct seasons. Unlike many other Asian countries, the weather is not overly complicated and there are minimal regional differences. The year is divided into spring, summer, autumn, and winter, each offering something unique. Spring is mild and refreshing, with blooming flowers and clear skies. Summer, on the other hand, tends to be hot, muggy, and rainy, which can be a bit uncomfortable at times. Autumn brings cooler, breezier days, along with stunning fall foliage. Winter is cold and snowy, with temperatures often dropping below freezing, making perfect for winter sports and enjoying the snow. Personally, I love winter the most. I enjoy hiking in snow-covered mountains, and winter in Korea provides the perfect scenery for that. There is something magical about walking through snowy trails, and I find the crisp, cold air refreshing. For me, the best part of winter is being able to enjoy the peaceful beauty of nature while staying active. Overall, I appreciate all the seasons in Korea. Each one has its own charm and things to enjoy, but winter is definitely my favorite. Question number two. How has the weather changed over the years in your country? How has the climate changed from when you were little? When I was little, summers in Seoul were long, warm, muggy, and often rainy. I remember the monsoon season lasting about a week, and it was always sticky and uncomfortable. While we still experience the same muggy summers with monsoon rains, things have definitely changed over the years. The summers have become longer and more intense, with rapid urbanization and industrial development in Korea. The effects of climate change have become more noticeable. For instance, we've seen drastic changes in annual temperatures and rainfall amounts. There was one year when we had nearly 50 straight days of heavy rainfall, which caused widespread flooding throughout the country. And just last year, we dealt with a severe heat wave during the summer. Growing up, the summers were relatively mild, but now we are facing climate related issues that seem to get worse with each passing year. Question number three. Tell me about a memorable incident related to the severe weather. What was the problem? And how did you deal with the situation? What made the incident unforgettable? I remember a memorable incident that happened about 10 years ago when I went to the beach with my friends during the holidays. We went to the beach called Haeundae, where a popular music festival was happening. It was incredibly lively and packed with people. That morning, I checked the weather forecast, and they mentioned there might be some scattered showers, but nothing too serious. However, as we were getting closer to the main event of the concert, suddenly it started pouring. I mean, it was coming down so heavily that I had never seen anything like it before, so everyone had to go inside. I wanted to stay out and enjoy the festival, but I had no choice but to go inside. Even though I couldn't experience the entire festival, I still had a lot of fun. Looking back, it was definitely one of the most unforgettable experiences I've had. Question number one. Please tell me one of the geographically unique areas in your country. Where is it located and what does it look like? Tell me all the detail. Korea is a beautiful country with a diverse geography, and one of the most unique aspects is its stunning coastline, as it's a peninsula surrounded by water. The beaches are here especially breathtaking, with scenic views that attract visitors year-round. Many people come for vacation, as the beaches are a great spot to relax, swim, or take long walks along the shore. In the evenings, the beaches are even more beautiful during sunset, when the sky and water create an incredible atmosphere that's hard to take your eyes off of. The natural beauty of these beaches is simply captivating. Whether you're soaking up the sun or watching the waves, Korea's beaches provide a peaceful and rejuvenating experience for all who visit. Question number two. Tell me about some outdoor activities you engage in. How does the geography of your country help you do those activities? What do you usually do? How often do you do those activities? What do you usually do? How often do you do it? Tell me about the kinds of outdoor activities that are popular in your country. Do people hike, bike, or swim? What do people typically do outdoors? Okay. People in Korea are increasingly drawn to outdoor activities whenever they have free time, and the country's geography offers plenty of opportunities to enjoy nature. Since Korea is a peninsula, and there are beautiful beaches on the east, west, and south coast. These beaches are popular vacation destinations, offering a variety of activities. For example, at the beach you can swim, snorkel, surf, or simply relax by the water. Surfing, in particular, has gained popularity in recent years as a fun and exciting water sport. More and more Koreans are eager to try surfing, seeing it as a great way to escape the city, enjoy the weekend, and relieve stress. In addition to water activities, hiking is also a favorite pastime for many Koreans. Thanks to Korea's mountainous terrain, hiking trails are abundant, and people often head to the mountains to connect with nature and get some exercise. Whether it's hiking, surfing, or just enjoying a day at the beach, outdoor activities are an essential part of life for many people in Korea. Question number three. Describe the last place you visited related to the geography of your country. What was special about that place? What did you do there? Tell me everything about the landscape and why you went there. I remember visiting an island with my family during the holidays a couple of years ago. Since Korea is a peninsula, and there are plenty of islands, especially in the south, and one of the most famous is Jeju Island. Jeju is well known for its stunning natural beauty. During the day, we spend time relaxing, enjoying the views, and watching the islands pass by. At night, we are amazed by the incredible stars in the sky. One of the highlights of the trip was taking a boat to a nearby spot where we could swim and snorkel. I had the chance to see a variety of fish, an unforgettable experience. Besides the ocean, Jeju also has beautiful mountains. The combination of exotic wildlife and breathtaking landscapes made it a truly memorable trip for all of us. Question number one. Let's talk about your shopping habits. How often do you go shopping? What do you most often buy? Where do you go for shopping? It's difficult for me. In Korea, shopping malls and department stores are abundant and they're often located in busy areas with lots of foot traffic. However, I don't particularly enjoy shopping in physical stores, so I tend to avoid them. Instead, I prefer shopping online, and one of my go-to platform is Coupang, a popular mobile shopping app. It offers a wide range of products from electronics to everyday essentials, and it's incredibly efficient. What I like most about it is the convenience it provides. I can shop from home at any time, and my orders are usually delivered very quickly. This makes it much easier for me to get the things I need without the hassle of going to crowded shopping centers. So, while there are many places to shop in Korea, I found that online shopping meets my need in a way that traditional shopping just can't. Question number two. When was the last time you went to shop for something? Where did you go and what did you buy? Whom did you go with? What was special about that shopping experience? Give me all the detail. The most recent shopping experience I had was just last night. I used the coupon app, which I often rely on for convenience, to order a hand cream. The app is incredibly fast, and I was amazed when it arrived at my house this morning, just a few hours after placing the order. It's hard to believe that less than 10 hours passed from the moment I clicked buy to the time it was delivered right to my house. The speed and efficiency of the service really impressed me, making one of the most convenient shopping experiences I've had. This fast delivery truly highlights the advancements in e-commerce today. And it's what makes online shopping go so great for me. Question number three. People sometimes go through difficulties while they are shopping. What are some problems you had to deal with while you were shopping? Hmm. When I shop online, especially for clothes or shoes, one of the biggest challenges is not being able to try them on before buying. It's often hard to tell how something will actually look or fit based on just the product description and pictures. There have been times when I've ordered items that didn't quite fit as expected or looked different from what I had imagined. For example, shoes or jackets that seemed perfect online sometimes end up not fitting right, or the color and design aren't exactly what I thought they would be. It can be pretty frustrating when that happens. Thankfully, with coupon, the return and refund process is really easy and it's free. I can quickly return anything that doesn't work for me, which makes the whole experience much less stressful. I might sound like I'm promoting coupon, but the convenience is honestly a big plus for me.